Hi guys, I want to go straight into this because this is breaking news, or at least it was breaking news last night. I was watching the TV and this came on as breaking news yesterday evening. So, yesterday evening, a man was found and arrested outside Buckingham Palace. And I understand also there was a controlled explosion. So, you can see from this article in Daily Mail that a man who was heard ranting he wanted to kill the king is arrested for throwing shotgun cartridges into Buckingham Palace grounds before a controlled explosion rocks residents' day before coronation. And I also have seen it reported somewhere that there was a knife, I think, was also thrown. Over into the palace grounds. And I think this is supposed to be a man who had been camping outside the palace grounds for a few nights because um, there's actually been people lining up now in London, um, close to where the coronation is going to take place, and also Buckingham Palace, where of course there'll be the balcony appearance, and the coronation is due to take place in Westminster Abbey, which is obviously in Westminster next to Parliament. And so people are starting to camp outside. I understand they've been there for days. The coronation takes place on Saturday, the 6th of May. And I understand that people have been camping for a week already to get, obviously, their front row seat. So, as I understand it, it's been reported that he was also camping out for a number of nights. So, you can see here the Metropolitan Police, and I should say, good on the police for catching this. Security is obviously going to be upped after this incident. And it is a very sad thing to hear about, frankly. I don't know, I'd like to know who this man is, where he's from. Is he a part of a group? Is he doing this alone? Has he got any mental health issues, or is this a political issue? Is this a Republican issue? Is this some other kind of terrorist motivation? What was his motivation? And it is very sad. But unfortunately, it's, in my view, inevitable that something like this or some sort of unrest was going to happen, some sort of security concern was going to happen because there's so much tension these days with so many issues that are going on in people's lives and so much unfair criticism, I think, of the royal family that I think something like this was bound to happen. I mean, we know, not so long ago, there was somebody in Windsor that was also arrested, a young man who had a bow and arrow, I believe, who wanted to kill the Queen. So, these things do happen. And I'm glad that security, the Metropolitan Police, has caught this, and I'm glad that security has been upped. And frankly, an event that is this big, and from what I have read, the coronation pageantry is going to be massive. It's going to be much bigger than what you saw for the Queen's funeral. And so it's bound to be a security concern that incidences like this may happen. And frankly, there's been a lot of talk about the cost of this coronation, and I imagine that the majority of the cost is probably on the security. So, a very tough job that the security officers have, but I'm very glad that they've picked up on this. So, it says here Metropolitan Police officers arrested a man around 7 p.m. last night at the palace. And there was some live broadcasts on TV, and there was the controlled explosion heard in the background. So it says a man was held this morning by police, and this morning is the 2nd of May, by police on suspicion of possessing a weapon after throwing shotgun cartridges into the grounds of Buckingham Palace. And the Metropolitan Police detained him around 7 p.m. last night, so about 7 p.m. on the 2nd of May, and he was being held by police in the morning of the 3rd of May. So last night, 7 p.m., he approached the gates of the palace in central London as coronation rehearsals took place, because the coronation rehearsals have been taking place for a long time now, but they've been taking place at night time or really early in the morning. I think I read somewhere that it was 3 a.m. in the morning, or really late at night. So if you're around London really late at night, you might actually catch some of the rehearsals. And please do comment in the comment section if you have actually caught some of the rehearsals. But so witnesses said that the man was throwing a number of items in the residence grounds before he was arrested. News footage shows how the handcuffed suspect hung out his head as officers took him into custody. and the police later carried out a controlled explosion on a suspicious bag as a precaution. The witness told The Sun that the suspect had stationed himself outside the palace over the last few nights and was heard shouting, "I'm going to kill the king." Police say they are not currently treating the incident as terror-related. It is understood to be treated as an isolated mental health incident. Buckingham Palace confirmed the King and Queen were not in the residence when the incident occurred, but a royal spokesperson would not answer whether any other relatives of the family members were there when it unfolded. And I understand that, I think today, that there's supposed to be a tea party that the King is going to hold, or was going to hold, at Buckingham Palace. So here you can see the footage of this man being arrested by the police. Those are the gates of Buckingham Palace. So there he is being arrested. There he is being taken into the van. And then this is when the police carried out a controlled explosion on the suspect's bag as a precaution. I actually did see some of the live broadcasts where you could hear the explosion in the background. Officers are pictured at the scene by the bag. This is obviously the front of Buckingham Palace. This is like the balcony section. So everyone they open up the mall. Everyone walks all the way down here, goes to the front, and then they see the royal family at the balcony. So that's where the king will be at the end of all the celebrations. And here you can see the rehearsals. So if anyone sees any of these rehearsals or seen any of the rehearsals, please do comment in the comment section. This was one of the live broadcasts that I saw. And then you can see the rest of the article here. So unfortunately, a very sad incident, a very shocking incident, but I'm very glad that the police were able to deal with this.